Happy May the 4th, everyone! You know, I thought today was the perfect day to introduce everyone to my son. Go on, R2. Say something to the camera. R2, you know, it's so funny you bring that up, and that was so well said, because, I agree. Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here. I hope all of you had a wonderful, relaxing weekend. Me, personally, I took some time off and devoted all of it to Persona 5 Royal. We just wrapped up the 5th Palace. One of these days, I'll actually beat the game, but right now, I am thoroughly enjoying this top-tier game. And while I was off being a phantom thief, Sony and Naughty Dog did themselves no favors in a time period where they could have put this situation in the rearview mirror. Okay, new week, new me, and just said, let's let the game speak for itself and leave Naughty Dog's comment public and just have it stay as that. They decided to instead approach the situation with the biggest iron fist possible to try to dismantle the conversation but only bring more attention to it. It is what us nerds call
the Streisand effect.
And of course, before I begin, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. As I said in our previous video, on Friday, we're trying to hit 400K this year, and I believe in us because when I said that on Friday, we got 500 new subscribers just from that video. So like, if we can just keep that up, we can actually do something really special here. And I believe in us. So I'm gonna keep reminding you guys, I'm gonna keep being annoying about it because I think we can do this. I had a Star Wars video originally planned for today, but this issue absolutely takes the priority because it threatens creators such as myself and many others out there. And we've seen what Sony's done with this internet beat stick known as a DMCA takedown. Now, before I actually get into some of the examples of what Sony's done, I think it's good to explain what a DMCA takedown is because creators such as myself are familiar with it. It can threaten our work. It can actually dismantle our career in a number of ways. But if you're not really in that space or you're just a viewer, you may not be familiar with what people are talking about. Long story short, for those who aren't interested, as I said, it's an internet beat stick to just remove content off the internet and sometimes outright silence people. According to DMCA.com, yes, they have their own website. What is a DMCA takedown? When content is removed from a website at the request of the owner of the content or the owner of the copyright of the content. Now, I'm not gonna bore you guys with reading this whole section of conditions with takedown content, but pretty much what it's saying is that through A to D is stuff like infringing on copyright when you post it as your own. And now we're talking about publicly available information. Whether you like or hate what happened with the leaks, this is publicly available. And many creators, such as myself, haven't even talked about what happened in the leaks. Like, even if you guys have paid close attention in my prior videos, right? I've not even shown publicly available, and by that I mean like PlayStation uploaded it, The Last of Us Part 2 gameplay. I'm not going anywhere near that game when it comes to footage, screenshots, just in the thumbnail themselves, so you guys know what game I'm talking about. But outside of that, man, no, I'm sorry. I will continue to show The Last of Us 1 gameplay because I am not taking any risks whatsoever, and much like many creators, I'm not even talking about what's happening within these leaks, just the situation itself and how Sony/Naughty Dog has been handling it, which is something we're absolutely allowed to do. So let's go through a number of very disturbing examples of what they've been doing over the last number of days. Both my sources will be linked in the description down below, but I took screenshots of the people who were affected by Naughty Dog and Sony's actions, and in turn, this new company called Muso TNT Limited. Who? Jeremy Prime said, I'm not doing anything until I talk to my lawyer about this in the morning. I showed no images. I gave no specifics about The Last of Us Part 2, yet my stream was taken down and I was issued a copyright strike on a clean channel. Now, as a creator, allow me to emphasize one thing. There's a difference between what I'm sure a lot of you have heard about, which is copyright claims versus a copyright strike. A claim essentially means a company stepped in and said, hey, you're using our music or you're using footage from one of our videos. We're gonna claim it and take some of the revenue you're making off of that, but the video can stay up. We just want a piece of the pie. And that's also another part of YouTube that often gets abused. Copyright strikes, however, threaten the very career of people who do this for a livelihood. And some may say, oh, Matty, you and many others chose this line of work. No, give me a break. It's not just videos that are being taken down, guys and gals. It's also tweets, just general tweets about the situation. Storm Yorha, who is an artist, said, do not mention redacted leaks. If your tweet gets traction, regardless if you post footage or not, Sony will literally file a DMCA takedown on your account. Same goes for YouTube or any network, as we're gonna continue highlighting in today's video. Tweets just saying like, what? The leak's happening? What's going on? Haha, like that is getting taken down because it gained traction. YouTuber Ryan Kinnell actually reported his YouTube channel received a copyright takedown and had his video removed for talking about Anita Sarkeesian and Neil Druckmann's connection. You know, as you can see, this has only got more people talking about the situation, and it's fanned the flames because now people are not only talking about leaks that they may or may not like, but also they're talking about how Sony and Naughty Dog are just crushing people who are talking about the situation, even in a way that mentions nothing about the story, or shows gameplay, or shows images. Like, people like me who just have outright avoided it and talked have been silenced. The same thing had happened to Mr. H, as well as another YouTuber, Super Divorce, who reported they received a copyright strike when discussing The Last of Us Part 2 leaks. And you know, if it were claims, I guess most people would be like, whatever, I just lost a little money on a video. That's very annoying. But at least you can continue doing what you're doing. But a strike. Like, for someone like me, if you removed my income from my YouTube channel, I'm screwed, right? Like, I have a little Patreon, I do Twitch on the side, but my primary income is YouTube. And for Sony to get so annoyed that, for example, I would be talking about the situation as I have been on the channel and just saying what my thoughts are on the situation, reporting public information, and they just be like, yep, career's over. Screw that, man. Forget that noise. And the reason I just put that in perspective for me is because it can help, I guess, bring to life what the situation is and how there are people like me who do this for a job. It's not just a side thing, and how that's happening to many people who are just having their hard work be completely removed because they're reporting on the situation. Now, the real test here, will be Angry Joe himself, who posted his thoughts on the leaks, which were straight up spoiling the game, and he has 3 million plus subscribers. This is a bold move because if they go after him, then there's a trickle-down effect where they'll probably come for people like myself, but also it is going to put such a spotlight, a bad spotlight on what PlayStation is doing here. If I'm them, pull the strikes, pull the claims, pull every takedown you've submitted, just let it be. It's not like a earn goodwill thing. It's just let it be, because sometimes these companies get so caught up in the emotion of things happening, and I understand the frustration, right? Like or hate the story, I understand the frustration the company must be feeling, because this is probably their biggest exclusive in a very, 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 very long time. I understand they're probably freaking out right now. But with that said, that does not give them the right to just start abusing the DMCA takedown system and start wiping creators off the platform because they don't like what's being said, and when most of them showed nothing with the leaks. The crazy part about all of these claims that you've seen throughout this entire video, they're all manual. That means someone sat down, handpicked these videos, and took them down themselves. The reason this is important to also emphasize is because YouTube's been guilty of having bots come in and make wide sweeps and taking down tons of videos, claiming tons of videos. That's not the case this time. These are actual people seeing these videos, selecting them, and choosing to remove them. All of this has been manually done. Nothing automatic about it. And some may wonder why, like, I'm talking about it, right? Like, why bring more attention? Like, you've done your Last of Us Part 2 videos. They did well, just leave it be. But this might be the most significant aspect of it all, right? Because a bad story or a good story, like, whatever, those are just pieces of work that we can critique and talk about for days and days on end. But does it affect livelihoods? I don't really think so. It's an entertainment product. It would be a shame if it's not very good, but it doesn't affect a livelihood. This does, which is why, and yes, I will admit some of my bias, right? Because this situation could affect me. It's a little more exaggerated for me than others, but for you out there, these may be people that you're watching that you do enjoy, and they can be affected. So this is just something that I wanted to help bring to light, like I've seen a lot of other YouTubers do. I was, I think, a day late to this, but I do apologize. I just, after last week, I needed a little time off. I was very tired. But now I pass it off to you wonderful people. I'm sure it's a very rhetorical question, but what do you think about what's going on right now, their response to the situation? I'd love to hear your thoughts. As always, do be careful when you enter the comments down below. I think that it is always hazardous to go there if you are trying to avoid spoilers. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I am done for the day. I look forward to hearing from you. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. Big thank you to all the patrons who help provide the income during times like these where, you know what, you could end up getting a strike of some kind. It really does have a substantial impact. And with that, stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.